it's Gina at Tarot in Time. I'm here to give you a tarot reading today entitled Bloom Where You're Planted. So I wrote this tarot spread last year around this time, and I had just signed a lease for my new space here in Kent, Connecticut. COVID pandemic had just really started, and I have a Sagittarius sun and a Gemini moon, so they're right across from each other. So as soon as I get one thing that I want, then I kind of seesaw back into the wanting my freedom. Sign the lease and then wanting my freedom. So I was doing some surrendering work to really try to just accept where I was and to thrive. So here I am, there I was in the United States of America during a pandemic, having just signed a pretty big commitment of a lease. And I wanted to surrender to thrive in it. And so today I was thinking about what spread do I want to do for everybody. And I thought of this spread because I never really shared it with anyone. So I used some cute little images. I had just started working with a Canva program, so got a little carried away with the imagery. And really just wanted to lighten up and really just accept that here I am. Let's make this work. Let's make the best of it, and let's thrive in it. So let's talk about you, how you can thrive where you're planted, right? We can always transplant you later, but right now, here you are. Let's make the best of it. So there's going to be a photo attached to this video, so you'll have a copy of this spread. Position number 1, I'm working with just major arcanas. So I took the major arcanas out of one of my decks. I used the Light Seers, and I randomly chose 3 major arcanas here for piles 1, 2, and 3. And I matched it with an essential oil, a flower essential oil. And so for pile number 1, we have Lavender Oil. I have this really cool book here called Essential Emotions. We have this book in stock. I love working with this book when I'm working with essential oils because it tells you the emotions behind each one, each plant. So let's look up lavender. And this is a great way, like one of my signature offerings here at Tarot in Time is to make custom essential oil blends for people. And a lot of times I'll use this book when working with people to really get to the heart of the emotions that are going on, so we can really target making a blend that's specific to you. So lavender is the oil of communication and calm, and it aids verbal expression and calms the mind. And it says specifically it calms the insecurities that are felt when one risks their true thoughts and feelings. So it addresses deep fear of being seen and heard. So if you connect with that, you might want to work here with pile number 1. And then pile number 2, we have Geranium Oil. And Geranium Oil is the oil of love and trust. It was a little sweet to me at first. I'm starting to like it more. Geranium restores confidence in the innate goodness of others and in the world. It's very easy to lose that feeling sometimes. It facilitates trust, especially when individuals have lost trust in others due to difficult life circumstances. Okay, so that's going to be pile number 2. And then pile number 3, we have Roman Chamomile, and I have already put it on. I think pile number 3 is for me. It smells heavenly. It's the oil of spiritual purpose. So Roman Chamomile supports individuals in discovering and living their true life's purpose. Regardless of what someone does for a living, they can find purpose and meaning in life. So we have Roman Chamomile here on pile number 3. So go ahead, pick your pile, and we will do this fun spread together. Okay, I'm back with pile number 1, lavender. So the negative emotions that are associated with lavender: blocked communication, fear of rejection, constricted, tense, racing thoughts, emotional dishonesty, hiding fear, insecure, feeling unseen, unheard, unloved. Positive properties: open communication, calm, expressive, emotionally honest, aware, and peace of mind. Okay, so this is your oil, lavender. I have a major arcana here for position number 1 already chosen. I put the major arcanas back into the deck, and so let's see what we get. So this is a 9-card spread. We already have one out. I'm going to pick a couple more now. This is obviously, you can see, a spontaneous reading. And okay, so let's see what we have going on here. So card number 1, position number 1, it's going to be a major arcana. What is currently fueling my growth? The World card. What a great card to get us started here. So the last major arcana, so the Fool goes out, he meets all of his teachers, and the last teacher he meets is the World. It's ruled by Saturn. So Saturn, it feels difficult at first to learn how to work with Saturn. Saturn's my experience of Saturn is kind of harsh, kind of in control, demanding, wanting us to follow a certain path. And over time, as we learn how to work with this energy, it brings us great success. And the World is a card of great success. So it's a card of being seen, of being exposed, it's often when you would receive an award or a reward of some sort. So what is currently fueling my growth? There is this almost like you've achieved something and you're ready to take all of that you learned and start a new cycle. That's what I'm feeling from this. But a great card for your first card to come up. So what's in bloom? We have the Page of Wands. And look at her. Looks like she's throwing that sword or wand up in the air, really having a fun time, really vibrant, bright energy. And so what's in bloom is like this playfulness, getting out and having fun, finding something that brings you joy, because a lot of times the World card, when it's associated with Saturn, we can get really caught up in work, more work. And so it's related to the sign Capricorn, or the 10th house, so our career, really staying busy, and that's really fueling you, is your business, is what you want to do in life, but there is what's in bloom right now is fun, is sunshine, is getting out there and just shaking it up a little differently. So what hasn't popped yet? The Knight of Wands. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. I love her. I don't play hand drums. Like, I want to play hand drums, but I'm not good at it. But I play anyways sometimes when other people are playing and they can't tell how bad I am. She is out there just living her life. So it's the Page of Wands to the Knight of Wands. And I love that the Knight of Wands is like, they're usually seen as men. And I love that this deck, it's a woman. She's just living passionately, vibrantly, expressing herself. So what hasn't popped yet? Well, maybe, it hasn't matured yet. It's in bloom. You're like starting to figure out what's fun for you. Hand drums is a form of communication, and the lavender oil was about communication, and maybe feeling blocked that, you can only do certain things. Like, I'm good at my work, I'm good at this, but maybe a little bit nervous to try new things. And so it's like, show up, play the hand drums, even if you're horrible. It's fun. It's still satisfying. I don't have to be good at it. I still have fun doing it. Okay, so number 4, what kind of nourishment do I currently need? And here's the moon. So, what kind of nourishment do I currently need? Well, the reflection of the cat is definitely bigger than the cat itself. And so, it's a watery card. The moon in tarot is more related to Pisces, and in astrology we think of the moon as related to Cancer, but there's Pisces energy going on. There's something very creative, and actually seeing yourself almost, it kind of goes back to the idea of like playing drums and kind of sucking at it, but like doing it anyways and just like playing the role. And so what kind of nourishment do I need? There's this watery, emotional, Pisces kind of spiritual, creative energy that you need to be around, that you need to see in yourself and go for it is really what I'm getting. Helpful friends. Who are your helpful friends right now? Here's the Six of Wands. And there's a lot of people around her. She's handing out flowers. There's a lot of really supportive people that support. It's wands again. So it's a lot of fire going on here. So people that are just really cheering you on. Everybody's clapping. You're handing out flowers. They're happy to see you. So it really looks like you do have a lot of helpful friends that just want to see you living your passionate life. What needs to be deadheaded? So position number 6, like what needs to be plucked out? What's not working? And here is a bonus card in this deck called the Artist. And it's Mercury, and he's kind of just trying to jot down. There's this tree, and he's like writing, maybe he's drawing it. What needs to be deadheaded? The Artist. Well, this is an extra card in the deck, so it actually doesn't belong in the deck. And so I'm just kind of getting a feeling of like, maybe just not thinking that you are an artist. Maybe not thinking that you are capable of that, but that idea needs to go. What needs to be cut back? So things that need to be cut back so that they can bounce back and come back even stronger is the Two of Wands. So 2 of fire, and he's got the 2 wands here, and he's looking out, but he's really alone, maybe kind of just looking ahead to what he wants to do, who he wants to do it with. So maybe you need to cut back on some of the relationships that you have right now that maybe aren't really supporting that playfulness that you need. Maybe there are people that you're around are maybe a little too serious, and you need something where you can be lighter. So what needs to be cut back? I'm getting like maybe spending a little bit more alone time, contemplating what you want to do, where you want to go with this. Because it's a 2, but he's really alone, contemplating his future. What needs to be composted? So what needs to go through that transformation, right? Composting, taking garbage, it breaks down. It's almost like the Tower card it reminds me of. And I'm going to laugh if this is the Tower card. So that process of breaking down and something fresh coming out. What needs to be composted is the King of Wands. Very fiery. He's got this lion behind him, very like Leo energy. And what I'm getting is like sometimes Leo is associated with like being self-centered, because Leo they need a lot of attention. And so I'm getting that there's this idea of maybe getting attention isn't, maybe you have some kind of thought pattern about getting attention that needs to go. Or maybe that you think that everything needs to be work related, when the King of Wands is like heart chakra, like passionate, fun. Leo is the 5th house in astrology. It's a house of fun. It's a house of children. It's dynamic playfulness. And so what needs to be composted? Maybe there's a transformation about your version of fun, your version of play, and its role in your life. And then the fresh compost in the process. So when you break down those ideas, what's going to come out fresh? And we have the Hierophant. This is card number 5. I love that it's a yoga teacher here, because the Hierophant is usually traditionally seen as like a priest or a sage or someone that's looked up to. And so in this one, it's a yoga teacher being looked up to. And I love that like the class looks up to the teacher, but the teacher is really looking up to their higher power, helping us connect higher. It's card number 5. This is 2021. 2021 is a 5-year. It's a year of change. So fresh compost in the process is there's a change here. There's a change in, I feel it's like your spiritual connection, like you can spiritually connect you can be your bigger self, so to speak, through fun. Like there's some kind of fun I'm getting that's missing in your life. And it's time right now to accept that this is where you are. Maybe you have a really serious job. Maybe you've been really focused on your career and that is fueling you. That's a great thing. Or maybe if you don't have the job that you want yet, maybe it's putting a lot of energy into figuring out what it is you want to do. But it is fueling your growth. But what's in bloom right now is this playful energy that you need to embrace. You don't have to be great at it. You just need to have a good time with it. And so I'm seeing this as like, let's get on with it. Let's get out there. Let's live in that artistic realm, that Pisces realm, and let go of the idea that you have to be fantastic, perfect, because this Saturn card can also have a lot to do with perfection ideas. Let's let go of the perfection ideas. Let's let go. Maybe it's time to shift our friend group a little bit and be more around the people that are excited for you to do something playful, that don't think it's a waste of time. And what needs to be composted is kind of the ego ideas, the thought patterns you have around fun. I think they need to shift. And as they do, you're going to feel, I think it's going to help your spiritual connection in general. I think it's going to get you it's going to shift you in a direction where you're a little bit looser, a little bit more open, and can connect easier. And it's going to bring about the change that'll be really helpful for you this year. So, also, we said lavender, the oil of communication, and really the Hierophant is the communication with your higher power. So let's be open to that. Let's have some fun here. Accept where you are. Find some joy in it. And thank you for joining me. Okay, I'm here with pile number 2. So we have Geranium Oil. And we have one major arcana here because position number 1 calls for major arcana. So I took those out of the deck first, shuffled them up, placed them out, put the majors back into the deck. So we have them back in here. So Geranium Oil. We talked about how it helps us restore confidence in the goodness of others. It's the oil of love and trust. And so the negative emotions associated with it are abandonment, loss, distrust, unforgiving, unloving, disheartened, heavy-hearted, and grieving. And the positive properties are emotional healing, empathic, trusting, forgiving, gentle, loving, tolerant, and open. Okay, so let's be open to the emotional healing that now can bring. Blooming where you're planted, here you are. Let's make the best of it, and let's see what you need to know. So this is position number 1. I'm working with 3 different decks here. I'm just going to lay out the rest of the cards. Position number 2, what's in bloom? What hasn't popped yet? Number 4, what kind of nourishment do I currently need? Helpful friends. What needs to be deadheaded? I love working with a bunch of decks, so we have a chance of getting doubles or triples even. What needs to be cut back? And what needs to be composted and the fresh compost in process. Okay, bloom where you're planted. Position 1. What is currently fueling my growth? I knew he was going to come up. Here's the devil card. Look at him. What an interesting devil card. So the devil card, and it's interesting, he's got like these strings here, and this person looks like they're in despair. Right? And we talked about the negative emotions related to geranium. Feeling distrust, feeling disheartened, feeling heavy-hearted, and grieving. And this person's like this, grieving. So the devil is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is kind of rules anything below the belt. And it's kind of a harsh energy at first. I've been thinking a lot about the devil card in tarot. And the devil in general. I grew up so religious, and so the devil, everything's kind of pinned on the devil. right? And so we were kind of look at every time we feel something horrible, we just throw it into that category. Or we push our feelings down below the belt. We can't deal with it. We just kind of push them down. And so this geranium oil is asking us to kind of go through that emotional healing, bring those emotions up, sort through them, grieve the losses, and move on. Freeing yourself from this old devil, from these old thoughts, these old feelings. So, what is currently fueling my growth? So this is for growing. This isn't for continued suffering. This is asking you to free yourself. And so going through these emotions, sorting through. And sorting through our emotions is sometimes just as simple as writing them down. I like to burn them afterwards. Over a toilet, safely flush it. Or at a bonfire. Freeing yourself. First, to be able to free yourself, you have to identify what you're feeling. And so this is a good time to do that. Spring is in the air. Things are coming up. The plants are blooming. And the energy is upward. And so let the things that you've pushed down come up and sort them and clean out and spring clean those emotions. It's time. And it'll be very freeing for you. You'll be freed from these chains. What's in bloom? Here's the Three of Wands. Now, it's like she's working her magic here. This is the Everyday Witch deck. Three of Fire. And we are in Aries season right now, so very dynamic forward energy. 3 is a foundation number, so there's a new foundation for you, new life to build off of, a passionate life, working your magic. So let's transform this old stuff that's holding you down. What hasn't popped yet? Strength card. I love how it looks like she's causing this tornado back there. So this is a Leo card. This Leo is the heart chakra. It's card number 8, so it's like that infinity loop, right? So what hasn't popped yet is that you still have to sort and sift through it, and then you can help. Like she just destroyed it, basically. So what hasn't popped yet is you're not quite there. It's coming. You're getting ready to successfully move on to kind of like not being a victim anymore, stepping up and really taking back your power and to create the life that you want to live. It's interesting that the wand here is like forming this magic, and this wand here is destroying something behind. So that's coming. You have to sort and sift first before you can make any major moves about things. Before you can move on. Like we all like want to move on from things, but we didn't even grieve. So let's get that part done with first. What kind of nourishment do I currently need? Here's the 9 of Wands. I love the expression on her face. Like, yeah. She's got a lot going on. She's almost building it almost looks like she built a fence with all the wands. So, what kind of nourishment do you need? I think it's just this dynamic energy of like, you can do this, you can build this, you can build the life you want, you can take what you were given and make something wonderful out of it. Who are your helpful friends through this? You have the Magician. Very interesting. So the Magician is card number 1 in tarot of the major arcanas. So the Fool goes out, he meets his teachers, the major arcanas, major secrets in life. The first teacher that he comes upon is the Magician. The Magician teaches him that everything and anything is possible. It's a 1. So the helpful friends is really just, I'm seeing it as this is a solo thing. You are in charge. You can make this magic transform. You can transform your life into what you want to free yourself. All this old stuff that's blocking, I feel like it's blocking your love, it's blocking trust, it's blocking you from letting people in. So you got to just sort, identify what's going on, sort through it, and then you'll be able to move on from it very quickly, and it will become like a resource for you. So like the trauma, whatever it's been going on, then later becomes a really helpful tool. And so you need to, your helpful friend is your own power. That's what I'm seeing it as. What needs to be deadheaded? So what's got to go? What's not working? The Well. So this is interesting. This is a bonus card in this deck. There's 2 bonus cards in here. So this is card number 22. She's working with a pendulum to draw this water up from deep down. So I'm just seeing that as like, you're just pulling up these old emotions. You're like almost like running through the same emotions. Maybe there's some blame there or guilt, and it's gotta go. It's not helping you. Let's get that out of the way. Guilt's optional. Didn't know that for a long time. It's optional. Let's move it out of the way so we can get through the real heart of the matter here. So we can grieve, we can get these emotions out and stop, because I feel like you're just stuck in a loop of blame and guilt. And so that needs to go. What needs to be cut back? So it's got to be cut back so it can bounce back. Here's the 8 of Wands. It's a lot of fire, dynamic energy. And I think of the 8 of Wands, like sometimes it's called the honeymoon card, but it's like always like wanting to leave, just wanting to like get out of town. And so what needs to be cut back is like, yeah, there'll be a time and a place for that, but unless you sort through this stuff now, you're going to leave with all that baggage with you. So let's sort through it now, do the work. I think the work will be a lot shorter period of time than you think it is. So what needs to be composted? So the whole composting process of breaking down, it's like Pluto energy, like the Tower card. This is the Tower card. I'm going to laugh hard. Okay, what needs to be composted? What needs to be broken down to change into this fresh soil? That's going to be the next card. Here's the Empress. Look at that. She's pregnant with the world. So she's Venus energy. So what needs to be composted? You know, this card to me, I mean, I have 2 kids. I did not enjoy being pregnant. It was just something, it was uncomfortable. That was my experience. Just very, like, yeah, the end result was great, but her belly is full. And so what needs to be composted is kind of like just letting go. The process. It's got to shift where you're like the Empress, she's nurturing, but she's got to nurture herself. She can't just take care of everyone and everything. And so that needs to shift so that she can take care of herself. That's really what I'm picking up. And what's the fresh compost in the process? Here's the 5 of Wands. Dynamic fire energy. It's a 5. So 2021 is a 5-year of change. And so the fresh compost, I really feel like you're around more people that like are reaching towards the same goals as you, that want to live the dynamic life that you want to live, and those that don't will kind of fall away. And so basically, currently what's fueling your growth, remember the Devil card is fueling your growth. It's offering you an opportunity to free yourself of this suffering. You have an opportunity now to start building a life that you want, but you have to sort through those emotions first, and then you'll be able to move on. Please don't put the cart in front of the horse, so to speak. You have to sort through the feelings. So get your pen and paper out, start writing down the things that you want to, that you need to let, that maybe have been buried for a while. Up and out, up and out. Simple things like writing, burning, processing, journaling. And then you can start to move on from it. And I think once you move on, it's going to be done. You're not going to have to go back through that again. This is deep work. It's going to become a huge asset to you. You're going to build, I see you building like proper boundaries with people, instead of just like, there's going to be this love and trust that you're going to be able to know when to build the boundary and when to let people in more. And so your helpful friend is yourself, your higher power, that you have all the magic in you, all the tools that you need to make this happen. It's time to stop torturing yourself, and it's time to stop wanting to escape this process, because we try to escape it, and then I don't think it's going to take you that long. I think it's going to move very quickly. There's a lot of fire energy here. It moves quick. What needs to be composted? Trying to care for everyone. It's time to really care for you. Let's put the energy on you. And the fresh compost is that you're going to start bringing in more situations where you're supported to be the person that you want, to live the vibrant life that you want to live. And I think it's this year, and you can do this. You can do this quickly. I wish you all the best. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I'm here with pile number 3, this Roman chamomile that I just love the smell of Roman chamomile. Oh my goodness, I forgot how much I love it. Okay, so spiritual purpose, the oil of spiritual purpose. So we talked about how it supports you in discovering your true life's purpose. And it doesn't matter what you do for a living. This is about where the meaning is in life for you. And it's housed within your heart, and it radiates out to the world. So the negative emotions associated are purposelessness. Did I say that right? Purposelessness. Discouragement, drudgery, frustration, feeling unsettled. And the positive properties are purposeful, guided, peaceful, fulfilled, relaxed, and spiritually connected. Roman chamomile is a great oil to diffuse at night. It's often mixed with lavender too, to really give you a good night's sleep. So let's talk about Bloom Where You're Planted spread. So the first card is a major arcana for the position of what is currently fueling my growth. I picked those first, and then I put the majors back into the deck. So I am working with 3 decks. You don't have to. If you do this yourself, you can work with one. Just separate the majors out first, pick position number 1, shuffle the majors back in, and you're good to go. Position 2, what's in bloom? What hasn't popped yet? What kind of nourishment do I currently need? Who are my helpful friends? As you can see, this is a spontaneous reading. So, number 6, what needs to be deadheaded? What needs to be cut back? What needs to be composted? And what's the fresh compost in process? All right, got a lot of cards here, so let's get rolling. Number 1, what is currently fueling my growth? And here's the Tower card. Yes, I'm smiling, it's the Tower card. Isn't that beautiful though? The lightning bolt of change has hit. Such a beautiful nature kind of card here. So this is related to the planet Uranus, related to the sign Aquarius. The Tower comes in and it removes things that are in our way. It's card number 16, which when you add 1 and 6, you get 7. So it's actually 7's related to your spiritual path. And so the Tower is like, bam, it's out of your way. You might not have taken it out of your way if that lightning bolt hadn't hit. So what is currently fueling my growth? That lightning bolt of change is actually really helping you right now. That unpredictable, it's Aquarius energy, so it's genius energy. It's so far ahead. So this is currently fueling you, this change, this divine intervention. What's in bloom right now for you? So the 5 of Swords. Look at that one. Just kind of juggling all these swords up there. Everybody else is like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? Now, 5 is a number of change. 2021 is a 5-year. The change is the theme. And like after COVID, through all this COVID stuff, there's so many changes right now. We don't even know what's up anymore. So 5 of Swords, 5 of air, 5 of communication, 5 of thought, and there's a change of thought. And so what's in bloom? Change is in bloom for you and how you're thinking. The Tower is also Aquarius, so these are very like thought process kind of changes. What hasn't popped yet? Here's the 6 of Pentacles. So it's a big difference between like this change where everybody's kind of shocked by you into this Six of Pentacles where everybody kind of wants a piece of you. So that's coming. It's a very successful card. What kind of nourishment do I currently need? So here's the Temperance card. It's an interesting version of Temperance. Temperance is a Sagittarius card. It is ruled by Jupiter, a card of planet of luck and blessings. Temperance is card number 14. 1 and 4 makes 5. This is a theme card for 2021. This and the Hierophant. They're both equal 5. We said 2021 is a year of change, a 5-year. And so this is, but there's luck and blessings on your side. Now, Temperance is usually seen as like pouring from the cup of the mind to the cup of the heart, finding this balance. What kind of nourishment do I currently need? The first thing that's coming to mind is actual water. Please make sure that you are drinking enough. And he's very angelic. Sagittarius has to do with your higher power. And Roman chamomile has to do with your spiritual purpose. So what kind of nourishment do you need? You need this connection with your higher power. And so that can be, maybe you don't know what that is. Maybe this is a year that you need to go find, search, explore, see what you're connected to. Maybe you want to work with the angels. Maybe you want to connect with the angels. And so this is the year to start looking at that. This is the time. This is the nourishment that you currently need to fuel your growth, to bloom where you're planted. And so this tower is coming in, offering you this change. It's offering you this insight, offering you this opportunity. Things are being moved out of your way. Your thought process is changing. And so you need to be nourishing your spiritual connection. And you, like I said, you don't have to know exactly what that is. And I don't want you to just go by what you learned in childhood about that, because this is about change. So this is about you questioning at where you are now, at the age you are at now, what works for you? How do you connect? Who are your helpful friends in this process? And here's the Two of Pentacles. And it's interesting, she's kind of swinging these pentacles around. It's a 2, it's just her. But it has to start with you, and then those helpful friends will come in that value the same thing as you. So what needs to be deadheaded? What's got to go? What's dead and needs to be plucked out? Waste of energy. Here's the Page of Wands. He's kind of looking out there. See it there. This wand, it's young energy. Page Wands is this fiery passion. And so what needs to be deadheaded? I'm kind of just getting like this, always wanting to leave, wanting to go, new adventure, what's next? You might want to get a little bit more focused on where you're planted. What needs to be cut back so it can grow better? We have the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is associated with Virgo, and Virgo rules the house of health. It has a lot to do with like detail. And sometimes it can be a little harsh, harsh self-talk, nitpickiness. So that needs to be cut back now. There's no space for that. And the Hangman also like wants you to look at things from a different perspective. So what needs to be cut back is the being too hard on yourself and thinking that you're in control. That's what I'm seeing. What needs to be composted? So this is like kind of like the Tower card, that lightning bolt of change. It's actually more, kind of feels more like Pluto energy, like this transformation that's happening where the new product comes out of it. So what needs to be transformed? What needs to be composted? And here is the Emperor. So the Emperor is card number 4. He's Aries energy, and he looks like he's holding a chess piece in his hand, and he's looks to me like he's sitting on planet Mars, which is the planet of action, which rules Aries. And so what needs to be composted is like always thinking you're in charge. It kind of goes back to what needs to be cut back. Like just thinking that it goes back to connecting with your higher power, because you're really not in charge. You only have so much control. And so this idea that you have all the control in the game is untrue, and it needs to go. And as you can let go of that a little bit more, as you can be a little bit kinder to yourself and a little bit kinder to others, and you really questioning your spiritual connection, I see that there's going to be this shift. And the fresh compost that comes out of it is the Six of Wands. This is like the rock star card. I love this card. She's getting all the praise and all the attention and all the glory that she's looking for. And so, yeah, so let's kind of overview it. So currently fueling your growth is this Uranus energy of unpredictable change. It is your helpful friend. What's in bloom now is to question your thoughts, question, now that things have been cleared for you a little bit, some things have been taken out of your way, maybe some thoughts have been cleared for you. Now it's time to question what's going on in your mind, especially when it's in regards to your spiritual beliefs, your religious beliefs, those kind of things. And so now's the time to really take a look at it, observe it, and think about the changes that you need to make. Even if you don't know what it is yet, just be willing to show up, to know that you have a purpose here, and it isn't just about being in charge or working too hard. It's about surrendering. And I'm looking at this Roman Chamomile page. It says, easing the overactive ego mind. It helps soften the personality. And so what hasn't popped yet is this great success. This is actually, we have the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. So there's a lot of really moving forward kind of energy and really being seen differently. The nourishment that you need is making sure, number one, that you're drinking enough water, plain and simple. And you need to connect with your higher power. And I'm seeing it more as like the angel realm. I'm not a big expert on the angel realm, but I would encourage you to start reading about that and see if you feel a connection. The helpful friends will come as you start down this path. It's going to start solo, but you will connect with others. What needs to be deadheaded is just the idea of like always wanting to run away and start something new or go down a new path. Let's stick to this path right now. What needs to be cut back is the self-criticism and the criticism of others. What needs to be composted is thinking that you're in charge, that you're in control, and there's only so much that you have. And the fresh compost is very successful, very successful. And I see this as, when a lot of people, when they get up and give their speech of what, their acceptance speech, they always thank their higher power. They thank their helpers along the way. And so the fresh compost is like, things are really going to start working out for you. So connect and ask for help and give up that idea that you are just constantly in control. Okay? Thank you for joining me.